Welcome to another dynamic episode of this bootcamp of Anartha Nivritti 12 steps. Today, we're going to start with the third step prayer. We will all, in the spirit of third step, we're going to get ready for today's presentation. Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is the most magnificent of all incarnations, who came to this on this earth in Kali Yuga, to Jeev Jago, to wake up all of us, the sleeping souls. What would we do without Lord Gauranga? So today we're going to invoke the spirit of handing over our lives and our will in the care of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is the Yuga avatar. You can repeat after me if you like. Dear Lord Gauranga, I offer myself to thee, to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. Let go and let go, Ra. All right, welcome to today's presentation. Today we're discussing about Lakshmi Devi. In fact, Gauranga Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Radharani, and it's very befitting that all this is coming together. So, in the churning of the ocean pastime, of all the different gems and all the different symbolic treasures that came out from this cosmic ocean churning, there were these Ucheshrava, the brilliant horse. There was Airavata, the amazing elephant that of Indra, Indra took. And then there was also Surabhi cow that the sages took. So there were so many precious treasures coming out. And of all of them, the most precious is Lakshmi Devi, who came from that churning. Now, there are different in scriptures, there are different elements. Some things are very symbolic. Some things are events that happen, which are very intrinsically ingrained in the history of our scriptural and philosophical journeys of life. And some are metaphors or analogies and similes that help us understand the scriptural injunction in our life. And today, Dilip Prabhu in the Bhagavatam asked a very brilliant question about how to understand this pastime, especially of Lakshmi Devi. So, first of all, Lakshmi Devi is not any just symbol or not any benediction like the Airavata or any other gems and the treasures and that came out. She's eternal. And therefore, this is an event, which is a historical event in the theological, how do you say, the tapestry is woven into. So when she comes, there's this whole pastime, how she has a choice between all these great demigods, Brahma, Indra, all Brihaspati, Shukracharya. She has so many options, and everybody wants her. The devatas want her, the demons want her, the humans want her, everybody wants her. Who doesn't want Lakshmi, right? Everybody wants Lakshmi. Everybody wants fame and beauty and treasures and wealth and opulence. That's what she rules. But then she makes a decision. And what was her choice, Lakshmi Devi's choice? She, because of her purity, because of her divinity, and remember that any other thing that came out of the churning is not eternal, but Lakshmi is eternal. And so when with all imbued with all her qualities, her choice, what was her choice? She could have chosen anybody who wanted to serve her, but she chose to hand over herself in the care of Vishnu. How befitting it is for our chapter and our episode and our boot camp and our step today. Step 3, handing over our life and our will in the care of Lord Gauranga, as we understood. So she goes around checking out everybody and everybody's nature and qualities. And she's like, Brahmaji, yes, he is like very authoritative. He's full of knowledge and everything. But he has a problem. He has certain lusty desires. Mahadev, he doesn't have any lusty desire. He is very exalted. He's full of good conduct. He has everything. But then she said, yeah, but his hygiene is not like Lakshmi Devi is the Kamaladhangi, Komalangi, Sundarabjavadane. She's like so refined in her tastes. And when finally she chooses Vishnu, right? So today we're going to study a little bit about her discernment and what we can learn about that and following in the footsteps. We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So we follow Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose mood is the mood of Srimati Radharani. So here, Lakshmi Devi's purity, her purity is beyond external display. So she's not anymore anything about, oh, I want Indra because he's the king of the heavens. Oh, I want Brihaspati because he's so knowledgeable. No, she went for beyond external display. She went for the purity. And what's her purity? She's eternally connected to Lord Vishnu. It's like we are also eternally connected to Lord Vishnu. We are all enjoyed. He's the enjoyer. There's only one enjoyer, which is Krishna, right? It's only one Purusha. Everybody else is Prakriti. Even men, people in male body, we are still servants of Krishna. So that's our Jiver Swarupoi Krishner Nityadas. That's our eternal identity. We belong to Krishna. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna declares, all the living entities, they belong to me. They are mine. So we belong to Krishna and Krishna belongs to us. So anything else we choose is not eternal. We are eternal. Krishna is eternal. So I choose Krishna. So that's like beyond externally choosing anybody in our life, any compartment of the train, so to speak. But we choose the engine room. Engine room is Krishna, Guru and Krishna. And Krishna was the only one. The sovereignty, he is beyond the demigod sovereignty. He's beyond everybody else. So he had true mastery of self. He did not get swayed by lust. He did not get swayed by other people. Like Indra was very powerful, like authoritative, most powerful boss in the universe in that way. And then she didn't choose Indra because he had to depend on someone else. But Vishnu, his only disqualification as such was he didn't really like run after her like everybody else. Everybody else was running after Lakshmi. So the lesson here, very basic, simple lesson. We don't run after Lakshmi. We run after the service of Narayan and Lakshmi will come and grace us. So very important point that we don't run after wealth. We do our duty and then Krishna will provide us the facility. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told us, do not run after donations. You do your service and Lakshmi will come. So that's the mood of Lakshmi. She goes wherever there is service of Narayan. Otherwise, she's chanchala. She'll go check it out. No, I'm not going to stay here. She leaves. But when there's service of Krishna, she stays. So pure surrender. That's the ultimate thing about Lakshmi Devi, right? The ultimate quality that is in her heart. Okay. And then Lakshmi, when she emerged, she sought the only one, that is Krishna, with a truly surrendered, pure heart. So the point is, in this whole section of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam of the 8th chapter of the 8th canto, Śrīla Prabhupāda goes into a religion which is based for material gains. We will look at that slide if we have time today. And then the real religion is that which is separate from any religious expectations or material expectations. And only Krishna could fulfill that standard. Similarly, even in our life, only Krishna can save us. In Gajendra's case, only Krishna could save him. In Draupadi's case, only Krishna could save her. So that's what we've been studying. So what Lakshmi rejected is another parallel for us in the third step work. By the way, this pastime and this event is not only historical, it's not only an eternal relationship between Lakshmi and Narayan that they came together in this pastime, which was celebrated all over the universe. It's also teaching us lessons, what we need to learn from how we need to learn from the examples. So she, first of all, rejected all kinds of controllers. Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Brahma, all the controllers, those who sought power but lacked self-control. They had to depend on somebody or some other weakness. She also rejected other like wealthy demigods, those with riches, but they lacked inner purity. So she didn't think that was also good. So similarly, we may also have choices and options to choose from. We can worship this demigod, we can worship that demigod, we can give our life to this person, we can please somebody else, right? Codependency and all that also comes into play here. She also rejected the powerful, those with strength, but without humility, because true strength is in the security, in the confidence. When Krishna became Parthasarathi, when he became the chariot driver of Arjuna, he was extremely confident. He did not have any tinge of insecurity. He did not think, oh my God, if I'm going to be driving this chariot, what people will talk about me. He was so secure in himself. He knows he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he had no trouble to take the reins of Arjuna's chariot and become a chariot driver. Chariot driver means the person who's in the back will be kicking. When you have to go right, the right leg kicks the right shoulder. When you have to go left, the left leg kicks the shoulder. So Arjuna had to kick Krishna every time to proceed in a specific direction. So this is a very kind of a humble position to take. But we see that Krishna is not insecure. Oh, she's not worshiping me. I'm not going to bless her. Oh, she did not chant her rounds today. I'm going to stop loving her. He doesn't have that insecurity problem. He's very he's very strong, but he also gives us free will. He's like, do what you want. Yathechasi tata kuru. He says in the end of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, do as you wish. He told the whole Bhagavad Gita, but then he gave him a choice. So similarly, third step is when we make a conscious decision to turn our lives and our will in the care of the Lord. The Lord will not force us. He's powerful. No, let's not make any mistake in declaring that he's the most powerful. But he's also very, very gentle. He's he gives free will. He's like, oh, this person is not worshiping me for several lifetimes. It's okay. He doesn't force. Whereas narcissistic people these days, narcissistic leaders will force people. If you don't do this, then I will not provide you whatever, right? Rain and water and electricity. Then she also rejected the pretenders, those who display that they are very great or power or position, but actually they have no substance. But Vishnu, he's not king of heaven. Even in Krishna's incarnation, he only was helping the Pandavas. He was helping everybody. He was making everybody else kings and everything. He didn't even care about like taking the throne. He was just, even he was called Ranchod. He ran away from the battle several times, not once, not twice. So he's like known as Ranchor. So he ran away from battle. Like, how is that powerful? Well, because he's not like, he doesn't do the opposite. He doesn't pretend to be strong when he's weak. In fact, he does the opposite. When he's the most powerful, he's like, I don't care. I don't care if people call me Ranchor. I don't care. I'm Makanchor, I'm Ranchor. No problem. So he has a very high level of security. Whereas we see again and again in many of the pastimes that like Mahadev himself became bewildered when he saw Mohini Murti. Indra, he becomes very scared when his position is threatened. Brahma, he ran after his own daughter. So there are so many examples in the scriptures that declare that Krishna is not only powerful, he's not only self-control, he is not only, gentle, he is most benevolent. He's the most, especially Gauranga Mahaprabhu. I can't not say that. It's not only Krishna, it's Gauranga especially. He came as a Channa avatar, Gupta avatar. So people in the world, they always want to show off that they're great. These gurus, different people, they were like, whatever it is, they want to show I'm great. But then, Lord Chaitanya came and said, he came as a devotee. He came in the mood of Srimati Radharani, of service. He came in the mood of like, I am just a humble servant. He took sannyas, he left his beautiful wife. And so, he renounced everything so that he can open the gates of the treasure house of love for God. So the third step is where we truly make a decision that I want that treasure that Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu is distributing. In Kali Yuga, he declared everywhere, every town and village, Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu has declared that the holy name will be chanted. So when that floodgate is open, the yoga people are chanting the holy names. Everybody's chanting. You cannot say this is registered under ISKCON. It's not, Harinam Sankirtan is not like copyright of ISKCON. There's so many people taking advantage of it. But how we chant, also Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the indication, Tranadapi Sunichena. So he showed by his personal example who else can be more humble as God's incarnation than Mahaprabhu. He became the personification of that humility to show to us how to live, how to experience love for Krishna. So this third step is like handing over those worries. I was thinking this morning how, I don't know if you can relate to this emotion of sometimes feeling that frustration that things are not going my way. I want to do devotional service. I want to only do sadhana bhakti, but it's not happening. And there's a sense of irritability, there's a sense of unmanageability that really weighs me down. It drains me. And then I'm not experiencing Krishna. I'm only experiencing my plans, my strategies, my plans for whatever it is that I want to accomplish in this life, etc. So it's not really Krishna centered. And so this 12-step work really brings up that dirt of my motivations and then helps me to just clear it and hand it over to Krishna. So here is a little poetic thing for sharing. The churn within, the ocean stirs, the demons strive to take control, to grab, to drive. But devatas pause and bow their head, their trust in Vishnu pure and spread. The choice of Lakshmi, not strength, not fame, not dazzling fire, could win her soul or spark desire. She searched for truth, for love that's still, for one surrender to God's will. The inner light, when we surrender to His grace, when will surrenders to His grace, a flame ignites in darkest space. The churn subsides, the nectar flows, as peace within the heart now grows. So this point that we may practice chanting Hare Krishna, we may wear tilak and dhoti or sari and go around with our hands raised up, but is that true inner light inside? Is my will surrendered to the will of the Lord? So it's a question that I can ask every single day, every single moment. What is my intention? Do I want to align? Otherwise, there are the dark voices within also, which in that churning, if the dark voices take over, then the poison will keep incrementing. For example, I was thinking when I started this work of Anartha Nivritti and looking within and the step work, there was some people who were like, everybody in this world has anarthas. Everybody in this world have addictions. But how do we know? We don't know. The point is we can only work on keeping our side of the road clean. So it's very important to understand that not everybody might have our anarthas. And there might be very, very pure souls, very, very great souls without any difficulties that we may face. So we cannot make a judgment that they are also like us, they are pretending. We do not know. And also we cannot make another thing. Somebody may be a great guru with a lot of disciples or whatever, people may follow them, but that does not, however, prove their purity. So we do not know. Circumstances may happen that externally this person is looking like a very, very humble Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj style, sitting in the bathroom chanting Hare Krishna. Or it could be like Daksha Prajapati or anybody very, very qualified, capable, yet they have certain anarthas like pride, arrogance. So the point is, we are not here to judge. That we are going to learn in the fourth step further into that, but we are here to work on our side of the road, hand over my life, my will in the care of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and ask the Lord, please take over my life. I give myself to you, and I want to work with you, together with you. Help me build my life. Let the Lord build. Let Him be the visionary, and I'll do the work. So that combination of the two fingers short of Damodara Leela, effort and mercy, when we can balance those two, that's the completion of the step 3. So this whole thing, if you take all this into consideration, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his mood and his mission, his internal mission and his external mission, his instruction of chanting holy name, which will spread everywhere, and it's our duty and responsibility, Bharata Bhumite Hoile, especially as people born in India or anybody who takes up to this mission, we have a responsibility to share this message. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction on Tranadapi Sunichena, the humility with which we need to practice this. So, and then if you put all these little blocks together, then we come to see what actually is the purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement and what actually is the procedure and what's the internal mood, because there's a lot of external instructions. Let me go back to the presentation where, let's see if we have the... So this is Prabhupada. He's emphasizing 3 levels. Okay, let me go back. One, he's saying that rituals without surrender. This is in the 8th canto of the 8th canto, very, 8th chapter of the 8th canto. Very clear. Prabhupada is like empty worship, religious practice without heart, without surrender, only keeping to the rules and regulations. It's called empty worship. And Prabhupada also speaks about mechanical chanting, when we're reciting without handing over to Krishna, but we're chasing material desires. Very important. There's much more in Madhurya Kadambini also, very, very beautifully explained, this Anartha Nivritti process. Maybe another time we will go into it when we're doing step 7, we'll get into that. But this mechanical chanting means internally I'm thinking, oh, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have this desire, I have to get this job, I have to get this promotion, I have to get this money, I have to get a car. When I'm thinking those things and I'm chanting, then it's only helping the weeds grow. So whenever we are whatever we are thinking and feeling at the time of chanting, those things get empowered. So very, very important to see why we may not be experiencing cleansing or bhakti and we still have envy. All that is because maybe our chanting is mechanical and we are still having nurturing material desires. Conditional, and so let me just pause there. When I have material desires, it's not that I suppress it. I hand it over to Krishna. We learn that more in 7th step. All right. Conditional service means I'll help others. I'll do these things if I get validated. And then I resist internal transformation. I'm not really allowing these instructions to change me. I mean, this whole 8th canto has been so transformation. So was 7th canto of studying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for me. Prahlad Maharaj's teachings, I was going through externally, Krishna was throwing challenges at me. And I had a choice to either practice Prahlad Maharaj's principle of not seeing enemies and friends and trying to act in kindness. And in 8th canto, similar things, challenges are being thrown at me. Some people are being very, I don't know, like neglectful or whatever. And I'm having to choose. My husband challenged me the other day, you're doing all this Anartha Nivritti and everything. Why can't you just forgive this person? And why don't you wish well for this person? And this was not even in front of the person. It's between me and Krishna. And then there's somebody that doesn't doesn't like me, doesn't respect me and all that. And then I had to tell at least to my husband and to Krishna, please bless this person with prosperity. Oh my God, did it sting? Oh yes, it stung. Like, how can I wish this person all things that I want? I want good friends, and this person doesn't have good friends, and they always exploit people. So I was like, bless them, Krishna, with good friends, bless them with prosperity, because they are very much attached to money and whatever. Say, bless them with all that, bless them with spiritual happiness. Oh my God, it was so tough to do it. But one person in my life has been Melody Betty. I used to read her book several years ago, some 12 years ago. And she's not even a Hare Krishna devotee. But man, when I read her article about why it's important for you to overcome your disease of codependency and all this, seeking validation and being drowned in that shit hole, it's really important. She said that you have to force yourself to bless those people who have hurt you, to send that forgiveness light. And wow, Prahlad Maharaj, like one-on-one. And then when she was saying that, because even amongst devotees, I see on Facebook or other places where people hurt each other, devotees hurt each other. They throw one quote of Śrīla Prabhupāda and then the other one throws another quote. You are nonsense. You are, all kinds of horrible names and all. I can't believe that devotees could do that with each other. But that's why Anartha Nivritti is so important, that we do not just go into religious practice without the true surrender, true transformation. So Prabhupada warns us in this chapter, 8th chapter of the 8th canto, that religious practice without surrender keeps us an illusion. It's like wanting nectar without offering the heart. And then devotees keep fighting on social media, keep fighting any classes. They find some scandal, they want to blow it out of proportion because they don't have the taste of handing over the life to Krishna. And we are trying to avoid that. Okay, so the choice is before us. Okay, number 1, control or trust, fighting for control or trusting in the Lord's plan. Every day we have the choice. Second is reward or surrender, chanting for material gain or chanting for pure devotion. The third is impression or authenticity. Am I trying to do these things to impress somebody? Or am I trying to do this to prove my sense of self-worth to others? Or am I being worthy of divine choice? Am I choosing Krishna out of wisdom, out of free will, and handing over my life and not just trying to survive, not just trying to scratch the surface? So let's hand over our will. This is my proposal, not because we are weak, but because he is strong. I am unqualified, but Krishna is most qualified. So when I get attached to that most qualified, then my significance is attached to his. So therefore, it's significant. I am by myself insignificant. So similarly, Lakshmi Devi, may Lakshmi Devi bless us to always choose Krishna, always serve him. And may our hearts always choose the one, which is the Supreme Lord, Krishna, Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, because he holds answers to all our problems. He's the nectar, he's the peace, he's everything. Okay, I'll stop here for now because there's a few more slides, but I think we should see if anybody has any comment, any burning question. Because after today, we're going to take a break. So if you have any comments or questions. Anybody likes to read this, please? So this is the conclusion of today's presentation, what we can learn from Lakshmi Devi's purity and motivation.
I can do that, Mataji.
Head, Pankaj
Krishna. Motivations behind religious practice, personal gain. Some perform rituals seeking material benefits. Their worship is transactional rather than devotional. Pure devotion. True devotees serve without selfish motives. Their worship stems from love and surrender. These personal gain, these practitioners remain in the material sphere despite religious appearances, pure devotion. This approach leads to spiritual advancement and liberation from material bondage.
Yeah. Important distinction. And nobody knows these things, You look at somebody sitting on the Vyasasan, quoting verses after verses, and I may pretend to be a very great saint and a sadhu, but deep inside, I'm just thinking, oh, how many people are going to clap, or how many views will I get for this class? Then that's this, doing spiritual things, but for material benefit. So it's a transactional thing. It's not purely devotional. So I could do a devotional activity, but my intention could be transaction. So who else except Krishna and us know that? So we are going to work on these things as we go into the steps 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so get ready for it. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the comments section in the video, and I'll take it when we go to the next step. All right, we're going to end here for today and see you for the boot camp next session. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I have a quick question.
Sure, go ahead.
So, Mataji, what if my desires are not pure? Because I don't even know what are my desires. When I was listening to your this what do you call it, class presentation, your beautiful voice, I was just thinking, I don't know what is my desire. Why am I doing the spiritual services? Why I go to temple? I have the motivation to please my Kalachandji. But with that, what are those small, minute, desires I have? Even I don't know. So how do I get into, deep into it and figure it out that why I do it, and how just not do it because I have desire and just go for entirely in to please my Krishna. please my Kalachandji?
Well, first of all, the way you asked the question already shows that you're really sincere. You are on the path of finding out, right? So that's already 50% of the work done. And yesterday we touched upon the voices, right? Internally, there are voices. When things are going it in a certain way, the demoniac voice is like, I'll fix it, I'll grab it, I'll prove it. Whenever those things come, we know, okay, it's not like, see, if Krishna were to give us awareness immediately of all our anarthas, we will die. So that's why he gives it one little thing at a time, one little thing at a time, and it pricks. What to speak of everything at once? So the inner struggle is the battle between that control and surrender. So this is the answer to your question. The devotee's mood is the whisper of the devotee is, I don't know Krishna, but I trust you. Because there are so many worries we have. Where am I going to live? What will happen to my children? What's going to happen to my financial situation? What will happen to my health? What will happen to my parents' health? So many worries we have, right? So what we are so far, at least I am, those of you who joined my club early on before we started the program, overthinking club, the club of overthinkers. That's where we lived. That's what we breathed. That's what we ate. That's what we slept. We were addicts of overthinking. So then when we come to this program, we are like, yes, I have those things, but I'm going to give it to Krishna. And then we will learn what does it mean giving it to Krishna. But the idea is that I will whisper to Krishna and say, Krishna, I don't know if my motivation is pure when I'm making this to you. I know I love you, Kalachandji, but at the same time, I don't know all the other baggage that I'm carrying. I don't even know. But I really want to have a clean heart for you because I want you to come inside my heart. And Krishna doesn't come in a place where it's not clean. He only comes when it's clean and nice and beautiful. So I want to make my heart free from envy, free from anger, free from any of those anarthas, which is not place for you. I want to place you in the throne of my heart where there's a pure lotus of devotion, unmotivated, uninterrupted, unmotivated. Ahaituki apratihata yayatmasu prasidati. So that it has to be unmotivated and uninterrupted. Then that's what is pure devotional service. So we declare in the first 3 steps. First step, Krishna, I don't know Krishna. Second step, but I trust you, Krishna. Third step, Krishna, I hand over myself to you. So this is our 3 steps that we have taken. Does it help?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And sometimes, like asuras, we may get some thoughts and we end like devatas.
Yeah, because today when I was cooking, I was just, with these Anartha Nivritti, actually it's coming to that point when you start thinking, am I doing it, to please others, or am I doing it for Kalachandi? Prabhu was there and he was asking something. I said, no, this is for Kalachandi, so don't even talk to me right now. It's like that, that place where you just don't want to think or talk or do anything but to please Kalachandji. So
Beautiful.
thank you so much for giving your so much time. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a way I can also gain, how do you say, retain my recovery is by sharing it.
Hare Krishna.
Manjari,
Mataji, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was reflecting on what Pankaj Radha Mataji said, and I feel that that's what I did for the first almost 15 years of my devotional life. Whatever our Shiksha Guru told us, whatever the seniors told us, we just went ahead and did that. And at no point of time, if I, am sincere, do I remember the intention being as really serving Krishna. Or Krishna being any part of that. Even it was like almost just, oh, if I do this devotee will be pleased. If I do this, I will look good, or I will feel good because I did this as a part of a group doing some service. It's just that feel good feeling that, oh, I'm part of a group and we are doing something together. And there's also, I mean, so much pride that was there in all of those things. And now when I look back, I feel that, yes, it was not the right way to serve, but maybe, just because we served, Krishna gave us the credit for that. And he brought me to this point where now I can go further and go deeper. Is there some truth to that, or no?
Of course, certainly. I relate to the same thing. That's why training is important. Training is very important. 500 years ago, they didn't need training. Don't binge watch. They didn't need that because there was no internet. There was not even television. But these days we need that. And 500 years ago, everybody were like, you follow certain rules. You're in the Varna ashram system was a little bit more clear. These days, everything is so mixed up. So similarly, that's why we need training. That's why we need these kind of boot camps where we learn how to utilize my nature in service of Krishna, how to engage my motivations to flow towards Krishna. I'm not pure. That's okay as long as you want Krishna in. So the point of like channeling the energy, because usually what happens in bhakti yoga and in religious organizations and societies, there are so many levels of people, right? You may see a sannyasi who's on a certain level, and then some other people are there, and then you join, and then you look up to them, and then they have to be an example to you. So they may or may not have worked on their Anartha Nivritti, but then you keep kind of like putting on the masks. No, I can't tell that I have a problem. I cannot do that. So then there's a lot of course, social media. People are showing themselves something which they are not. So all these things adds up to the anarthas, the baggage. So it becomes important to have this kind of guhyam makyati prachati, like the Rupa Goswami recommends that we come together where we truly want transformation. We really want that. We are not here for any social thing. Oh, you know what she cooked for Janmashtami? I cooked 4 items. She only cooked 2 items. Sometime you can go in that direction. So we need to bring it back. We need to bring it back to like, hey, yeah, that doesn't matter. I have the what is that proverb? Don't look at somebody else's ant in the dead ant in their plate when you have a dead donkey in yours. So yeah, redirecting, bringing our consciousness back. Because nate swartha gatim hi vishnum durashaya ye bahirattamaninaha. Prahlad Maharaj says that the real true self-interest, swartha, we usually think it's a negative word, but there's a sattva guna swartha. By comparing myself with her and feeling superior in the moment, is that true self-interest? No. I'm losing my good karma. I'm losing it. But then, like you said, that point of when I feel proud about me, oh, I went and offered this to my Guru Maharaj, and all the other ladies were just looking. In that moment, I've not only attracted 500 women's envy, I've also spent the whatever sukriti, the good credits in that, instead of remaining in the position of, no, I actually want to serve Guru and Krishna. Kante Prabhu always says that when you don't want credit, there is no limit to how much you can serve Krishna. But when you want credit, you want validation, there's very little you can do. So it's a very important bridge to cross, right? That's what we're doing with step 3. We're crossing that bridge. It's not about me anymore. It's truly putting Krishna in the center. Then step 4, we will do inventory, clean the house will happen. But before we do that, we are kind of finding our ground with Krishna, before doing the tough work, step 4. Many people leave the program at step 4 because they can't handle the house cleaning.
I think it's also part of the reason is, Mataji, that at least my experience has been initially when we joined the movement, all the time what we were taught was you have to serve devotees. The more you serve, the more you'll progress, the more you'll advance. And that was it was like a blind following to that principle. And
that's okay. That's okay. If you're truly serving for the purpose of serving, you'll have unlimited energy, no problem. But the problem comes when there is comparison. We'll do in the step 4. Comparison is one of our boot camp sessions. But the comparison and thinking and the pride, all those payoffs, that is what is the problem. Remember, we discussed in the earlier sessions that service or whatever we are trying to do for Krishna is not the problem. The separate self-interest that I have there, That is the problem. My expectations is the problem. My selfish motivations is the problem. Comparison is a problem. Envy is the problem. Jealousy is the problem. If I'm transcendental competition is good. She served Krishna 4 hours a day. Wow, if I could only don't waste that 1 hour that I waste every day and serve Krishna, it's a good thing. It's helped me in my life, healthy. So that's why even within that comparison, there is a sattva guna way of comparing, and there's a tamas guna way of comparing, and there's rajas guna also. Rajas guna means you're trying to prove. Anyway, we'll do a whole thing, whole episode, whole thing about comparison and how we can use it to grow, how we can utilize that, and how we have to stay away from the tamasic comparison. It doesn't mean, no, back then we were focused too much on service, and now you just sit and relax and do internal work. No, we still want to serve the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we also boil the milk. We also look into our internal motivation when we're doing it. Why am I doing it? Am I doing it to prove my sense of self-worth to somebody? Or am I truly doing it? I mean, it won't happen overnight, but it's a process. It's a process. It's not a product. I want to welcome Megha Mataji. I think it's the first time she has joined today.
Is there class tomorrow?
Okay, let's end the recording, and then we will discuss the practical things of our group. Thank you very much for watching. And if you have not watched any of these previous episodes, kindly go back and watch them. Everyone has some practical tools. You can remember the acronyms, and see you in the next session. Hare Krishna.